get mad because somebody say, thank God they son alive. You right, thank God your son alive. If it was y'all son, y'all would say the same thing. Don't ever come for mine. Don't play with mine, because guess what? I don't know what go on. They mad. They never gonna be no embarrassments. They not gonna never have me thinking no type of way. Whatever.
Somebody almost lost their life. And now the whole internet is in chaos. Because the lies, the rumors, the paralyzed headlines, the life support speculation, all of it came crashing down on one of NBA YoungBoy's closest brothers at the same time that Wallo 267 decided to make a move that nobody saw coming. April 8th, 2026. Houston, Texas. A restaurant called Confessions. Ben Anthony Fields, NBA YoungBoy's real one, his affiliate, his brother in every way that matters, walked into that building and walked out on a stretcher. Shot multiple times. 2 victims. Critical condition. And the internet did what the internet always does. It ran wild. Paralyzed. Dead. Life support. The blogs went crazy. The comment sections went nuclear. YoungBoy fans worldwide were devastated. But then Wallo 267, $500,000 worth of game, the man who sat down with YoungBoy himself at Gravedigger Mountain, makes a move. He invites NBA YoungBoy's mother Sharonda Golden onto the podcast. Right in the middle of all of this chaos. Right when the family is under fire. Right when the streets are talking. And honey, the timing of that invitation says everything. Stay locked in. Because this story goes so much deeper than a shooting.
They choose to do, and whatever they do, if it turn out right, it turn out right. If it turn out wrong, it turn out wrong. They still mad. It don't matter. Oh, mamas are enablers. Mama are enablers. No, mamas is the ones who push their mother out, and the mamas is the ones that got to set up there with them, and the mamas is the ones that pray for them.
Now let us rewind. Let us go back to April 8th, 2026, because I need you to understand exactly what happened that night in Houston, Texas, before we get into everything else that has exploded around it. Because this is not just a shooting story. This is not just another sad headline about somebody getting hit in the streets. This is a story about loyalty, about money, about beef that had nothing to do with Ben 10 personally, and yet Ben 10 is the one who ended up on a stretcher. And that right there should tell you everything you need to know about how dangerous it is to be in certain circles, to be around certain situations, to be present at certain places at certain times when the wrong people decide tonight is the night. Confessions. That is the name of the restaurant. Confessions Nightclub in Houston, Texas. And honey, the name alone is giving us something to work with, because by the time this night was over, everybody had a confession to make. The blogs were confessing they did not know what actually happened. The people present were confessing they were not trying to be identified. And the internet was confessing that it had once again jumped to conclusions so fast that it left the truth completely in the dust. Here is what actually went down according to authorities on the ground. Houston Police Lieutenant Wilkins, who was at the scene and spoke to the media, described the situation as chaotic from the jump. What started as an apparent robbery attempt escalated into a full-blown violent confrontation. The suspect went into a brawl with multiple people who were trying to steal his chains. In the middle of this confrontation, that man pulled out a pistol and began firing. 2 people were hit. 2 people went to the hospital. Both were reported to be in very critical condition. And one of those 2 people was Ben Anthony Fields, NBA Ben 10, YoungBoy's brother. Now here is where the story gets complicated. Because this was not just some random altercation that Ben 10 stumbled into. Ben 10 was reportedly shot by Detroit-based rapper All-Star Jr., while All-Star Jr. was being assaulted by multiple men. And the situation reportedly originated with beef between All-Star Jr. and Jay, Prince Jr., who was also present at the scene that night. So let us be very clear about what that means. This was not Ben 10's beef. This was not Ben 10's war. This was somebody else's situation, a dispute between All-Star Jr. and Jay Prince Jr., and Ben 10 found himself caught directly in the crossfire of something that had been brewing long before that night at Confessions.
And as they damn sure that God gave them. So guess what? Don't worry about me and mine, baby. Cause see me, I don't give a what mine do. Guess what? They mad. They not embarrassment. Oh, you got a lot of grandchildren. I don't give a damn. I thank God for all my grandchildren. Sure am. Oh, your children this, your children that. That's good. They mad.
And that is the part that should have everybody asking questions. That should have everybody thinking deeply about what it means to be affiliated, what it means to be present, what it means to be connected to people and situations that can pull you into danger without a single warning. Because Ben 10 did not wake up on April 8th knowing that his life was about to change forever inside a Houston restaurant. He woke up like any other day. And by the end of that night, he was in critical condition fighting for his life. Now the internet, God bless the internet, did not wait for facts. Did not wait for confirmation. Did not wait for a single official statement before it ran completely off the rails. Within hours of the shooting hitting social media, the rumors were everywhere. Ben 10 is dead. Ben 10 is on life support. Ben 10 is paralyzed. Ben 10 will never walk again. Channel after channel, page after page, account after account, all of them pumping out the most dramatic, the most devastating, the most unverified information imaginable. And fans who genuinely love this man, fans who have followed his music, fans who care about NBA YoungBoy's circle, those fans were sitting at home in genuine grief over headlines that had not been confirmed by a single person who was actually there. And this is exactly why what happened next matters so much. Because in the middle of all of that chaos, in the middle of all of that noise and speculation and social media hysteria, OG Monique, believed to be the mother of NBA YoungBoy affiliate OG33, took to Instagram to dispute the claims and confirm that Ben 10 was in fact still alive. She wrote simply, 10 is alert. Stop the made-up stories. 4 words. 10 is alert. That is all it took to cut through the entire mountain of misinformation that had been building for hours online. 4 words from somebody who actually had real information, while everybody else was just performing grief for engagement. But even that confirmation did not stop the speculation completely. Because then came the paralyzed narrative. Even after people acknowledged Ben 10 was alive, the next wave of rumors said he would never walk again. That the shots had done permanent damage. That his quality of life was gone even if his actual life had been spared. And once again the internet ran with it like it was a confirmed fact. Like somebody with actual medical knowledge had made an official statement. Like any of these accounts had any real access to what was actually happening in that hospital room. And Ben 10 himself, this man is a warrior, he addressed it directly. He posted, "Getting shot? Okay, Ian trippin'. We serve 2 different gods. My father told me my testimony already. Life support has never been up an option." This man got shot multiple times, was in critical condition, and came out of it talking about his testimony. Talking about God. Talking about the fact that life support was never even on the table for him spiritually, even when the doctors might have been having a different conversation. That is a level of faith and strength that most people watching from their phones will never understand. And then on April 13th, 5 days after the shooting, Ben 10's friend and influencer Jamor came forward and shared an update that Ben 10 was walking and talking. Walking and talking. The man that the internet had already buried, already paralyzed, already written off, was on his feet. And suddenly all those channels that had pumped out the most dramatic death and paralysis content went very quiet very fast. Because accountability is not really something this corner of social media does particularly well. But here is where the temperature in this situation goes from hot to scorching. Because while all of this is happening, while Ben 10 is in that hospital, while his family is processing what just went down, while the streets and the internet are going back and forth about what really happened at confessions, NBA YoungBoy's mother Sharonda Golden steps into the middle of it. And she comes in swinging. Ben 10's mother had taken to social media after the shooting to express gratitude that her son had not been killed. And this, somehow incredibly, unbelievably, resulted in serious backlash. Some social media users felt her post was insensitive. A mother thanking God her child is alive. Getting backlash for it. And Sharonda Golden saw that, and she was not about to let it slide for even 1 second. She went off. Completely. Unfiltered. No PR team. No filter. No choosing her words carefully for public consumption. She declared, "Y'all some stupid dumber *** people. How the F*** CK y'all get mad cause Ben Mama said thank God her son is alive. Mamas is the ones who push their mother F***king ses out, and the mamas are the ones that got to set up there with them, and the mamas are the ones that pray for them, and that's they damn children that God gave them. And the internet exploded. Because Sharonda Golden does not play. Never has. Never will. This is a woman who has watched her own son navigate some of the most intense legal, personal, and public situations in hip-hop, and she has never once backed down from defending what she believes in. And watching her go to bat for Ben 10's mother the same way she would go to bat for her own child, that showed you exactly what kind of woman she is. But now, right in the middle of all this fire, all this heat, all this family pain and internet chaos, Wallo 267 makes his move. And that move changes everything about how this story is about to be told. Because here is what that conversation between Wallo and Sharonda is really going to be about underneath the surface. And I need you to understand this before it happens. Before the episode drops. Before the clips start circulating. Before the blogs start pulling 30-second snippets out of context and running with whatever narrative gets the most clicks. I need you to understand what is actually at stake in that room when those two people sit down together. Wallo 267 is not just a podcast host. He is not just a media personality who books guests and asks questions for entertainment. This is a man who has lived through things. Who understands loss at a level that most people only read about. Wallo has spoken openly about the death of Gilly's son Yung Cheese, who was killed in a shooting in Philadelphia. He said, "I struggle every day. My son was a year older than you, so I struggle every day. When I wake up, that's the first thing I think about. I also know I gotta be strong for my family." This is a man who wakes up every single morning carrying grief. Who has watched violence take somebody he loved. Who knows exactly what it feels like to sit in that hospital waiting room, not knowing if the person on the other side of those doors is going to make it out. So when Wallo calls Sharonda Golden right now, right in the middle of the Ben 10 situation, right when the family is raw, right when the emotions are at their absolute peak, he is not calling her as a media person calling a celebrity-adjacent figure for content. He is calling her as one human being who understands pain reaching out to another human being who is currently living inside it. And that is what makes this podcast appearance different from anything else that is going to come out of this situation. That is what separates what Wallo is trying to do from every blog post, every reaction video, every commentary channel that is simply using Ben 10's name to generate views. Now let us talk about what Sharonda is actually going to bring to that conversation. Because this woman has layers that the internet has only scratched the surface of. Yes, she is NBA YoungBoy's mother. Yes, she has a platform and a following and a personality that commands attention. But what she also has, what she brings into that room that nobody else can bring, is the perspective of a woman who has spent years watching her child navigate one of the most dangerous intersections in America. The intersection of extreme fame, extreme wealth, street loyalty, and law enforcement attention all colliding simultaneously in the life of one young black man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sharonda has watched YoungBoy go through federal cases. Has watched him sit on house arrest at Grave Digger Mountain for 2 years. Has watched the internet celebrate him, attack him, misrepresent him, idolize him, and tear him down, sometimes all in the same week. And through all of that she has never broken. Never publicly crumbled. Never let the world see her fall apart even when she absolutely had every right to. Because that is what mothers in her position do. They hold it together in public and they fall apart in private because the alternative, showing the world your full vulnerability when the world has already proven it will use that vulnerability against you, is simply not an option. But now, in the context of Ben 10 getting shot, in the context of another young man from YoungBoy's world fighting for his life, Sharonda going on Wallo's platform gives her the opportunity to say something that goes beyond defending Ben 10's mother on Instagram. It gives her the platform to make a statement. A real one. About what this life actually costs. About what the mothers of these men actually carry. About what it feels like to love somebody who the world both glorifies and endangers in the same breath. And here is what I believe she is going to say. Not word for word, because Sharonda Golden is nobody's script, but in essence. I believe she is going to tell the truth about what it means to raise a child who becomes a symbol. Who becomes bigger than himself. Who becomes something that millions of people project their own feelings onto without any regard for the human being underneath all of that projection. I believe she is going to talk about the weight that comes with being the mother of NBA YoungBoy. Not the glamour. Not the pride, though that pride is absolutely real. But the weight. The constant prayer. The phone calls you dread receiving. The news alerts you cannot stop yourself from checking. The way you never fully exhale because you know that the world your son moves through is never fully safe, no matter how much money, no matter how much security, no matter how many precautions you take. Because Ben 10 getting shot is not just about Ben 10. It is a reminder. A brutal, sudden, impossible to ignore reminder that the danger does not go away when the music gets bigger. The danger does not disappear when the streaming numbers go up. The danger does not care about platinum plaques or sold-out tours or millions of followers on Instagram. The danger just waits. Patient. Indifferent. And when the moment comes, it does not announce itself. It happens at a restaurant on a Wednesday night in Houston, over somebody else's chains and somebody else's beef, and suddenly everything changes. And what Wallo understands, what he is going to create space for Sharonda to speak about, is that behind every one of these situations there are mothers. Real women with real hearts who are doing the impossible job of loving their children through circumstances that most parents cannot even conceptualize. Ben 10's mother thanked God her son was alive and got dragged for it. Sharonda defended her and got pushed back on for that too. And yet both of those women are simply doing the most human thing imaginable, loving their children out loud in a world that would rather consume the drama of their children's pain than acknowledge the humanity of the people who raised them. That is the conversation Wallo is opening up. That is the door he is unlocking when he makes that call to Sharonda. And when that episode drops, when those two sit down and have that real, unfiltered, deeply human conversation, it is going to make every reaction video, every blog post, every 30-second clip about Ben 10's shooting look shallow by comparison. Because the truth always hits harder than the speculation. And the human story always outlasts the headlines. Ben 10 is walking and talking. He is testifying. He is still here. And the people who love him, the mothers, the brothers, the real ones in his corner, they are not going anywhere either. This story is not over. Not even close. And Wallo just made sure that when the real chapter of this story gets told, it gets told right. And that is the full picture that nobody else is giving you today. We came in here and broke down every single layer of the situation. The shooting at confessions, the paralyzed rumors that the internet ran with before a single fact was confirmed, Ben 10 coming out of that hospital on his feet and testifying, Sharonda Golden going off defending another mother, Jay. Prince Jr. scrambling to clear his name, Wack 100 making his statements about YoungBoy, and Wallo 267 making the move that nobody else in media had the depth or the relationships to make, inviting Sharonda onto the platform to have the conversation that actually matters. So now I need to hear from you. Do you think Wallo's timing with this invitation was perfect, or do you think it was too soon? Do you think Sharonda is going to go all the way in on that podcast, or do you think she is going to keep certain things close to her chest? And most importantly, do you think the people responsible for putting Ben 10 in that hospital that night are going to face real consequences, or is this another situation where the streets handle it before the courts ever get involved? Drop everything in the comments right now, because this community does not play about having real conversations. We want your thoughts, your theories, your takes, all of it. This is not just a comment section. This is where the real discussion happens. If this video gave you information that the other channels were too lazy or too scared to put together, hit that like button immediately, because it tells the algorithm that real coverage deserves to be seen by real people. Share this with somebody who has been following the Ben 10 situation, because they need the full story, not just the clips. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you actually doing right now? We are here covering the stories that matter, the situations that go deeper than the surface, the human beings behind the headlines that everybody else reduces to content. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Do not miss a single upload. We are not done with this story. Not even close. There is more coming, and when that Wallo and Sharonda episode actually drops, we will be the first ones breaking it all down for you right here. Stay safe out there. Stay informed. And never forget, behind every headline there is a real human being whose life is not content. It is life. Treat it that way.